Lauterbrunnen is a village and a municipality in the Interlaken-Oberhasli administrative district in the canton of Bern in Switzerland. The municipality comprises the major Lauterbrunnen Valley, the Soustal, the Sefinental, the upper Lauterbrunnen Valley with Untersteinberg including several glaciers such as the Tschingelfirn and the Rottalgletscher, many Alpine meadows and peaks such as Schilthorn, Bietenhorn, Schwarzmönch, and Silberhorn, and finally the villages Lauterbrunnen, Wengen, Mürren, Gimmelwald, Stechelberg, and Isenfluh, and several hamlets. The population of the village Lauterbrunnen is less than that of Wengen, but larger than that of the others. Toponymy: Lauterbrunnen was first mentioned in 1240 as in Claro Fonte, the Romance language place name meaning clear spring. By 1253 it was known to German speakers as Lauterbrunnen, which by 1268 had the alternate spelling of Lauterbrunnen. While the meaning of brunnen is undoubtedly spring or fountain, there is some dispute about the meaning of lauter. Some translate it as clear, clean or bright, while others translate it as many or louder. A local explanation is that the name Lauterbrunnen means many springs, using a modern meaning of the word lauter in German. However, this could be an example of a folk etymology. History: Lauterbrunnen is first mentioned in 1240 as in Claro Fonte. In 1304 it was mentioned as Lauterbrunnen. The oldest trace of a settlement in the area is a single Roman coin which was discovered in the Blumental. When the Lauterbrunnen Valley first appears in the historic record, during the 13th century, it was owned by the Friar of Wadenswil. In 1240 the Friar of Wadenswil sold the Sefinental Valley to Interlaken Abbey. Over the following century, the abbey and other local lords began to expand the power in the Lauterbrunnen and neighboring valleys. However, around 1300, the Lord of Thurn began to settle his Walser-speaking people in the nearby Lauterbrunnen Valley and into the highlands of the Lauterbrunnen Valley. By 1346, the Walser villages of Lauterbrunnen, Gimmelwald, Mürren, Sefinental and Tschingelfirn all had village governments and a certain amount of independence under the abbey. 3 years later, much of the Bernese Oberland unsuccessfully rose up against abbey. When the abbey suppressed the rebellion, the Walser villages bore the brunt of the abbey's wrath. By the 15th century, the villages of the valley were part of the large parish of Gsteig-bei Interlaken. In 1487–88, the villages in Lauterbrunnen built a filial church of the parish. In 1506, the parish appointed a full-time priest for Lauterbrunnen. In 1528, the city of Bern adopted the new faith of the Protestant Reformation and began imposing it on the Bernese Oberland. Lauterbrunnen joined many other villages and the abbey in an unsuccessful rebellion against the new faith. After Bern imposed its will on the Oberland, they secularized the abbey and annexed all the abbey lands. Lauterbrunnen became the center of a new reformed parish. Mines were built in the Tschingelfirn area in the upper valley beginning in the late 16th century. An iron smelter was built in Zweilachen in 1715 to process the iron ore from Tschingelfirn. However, most of the money from the mines went to the noble landowners. The villages remained very poor. In the 17th and 18th centuries the poverty was so widespread that many of the villages joined mercenary regiments or emigrated. A majority of the emigrants moved to the Carolinas in the United States. Beginning in the late 18th century, foreign mountain climbers began to use Lauterbrunnen as a starting point for their expeditions into the nearby Alps. Initially the climbers stayed in the village rectory. However, as Lauterbrunnen's fame grew and with the completion of a road from Interlaken in 1834 and the 1890 Bernese Oberland Railway, more hotels were needed for tourists. As new hotels were built, other tourist infrastructure was also built in the village. They built cable cars to Mürren in 1891 and to Wengen in 1893. But the most significant piece of infrastructure was the Jungfrau Railway, which was built in 1912. The Jungfrau Railway runs 9 kilometers from Kleiner Scheidegg to the highest railway station in Europe at Jungfrau. The railway runs almost entirely within a tunnel built into the Eiger and Monk Mountains and contains 2 stations in the middle of the tunnel, where passengers can disembark to observe the neighboring mountains through windows built into the mountainside. In 1909, the English brothers Walter and Arnold Lund popularized skiing, curling and bobsledding at Lauterbrunnen. These winter sports provided a whole new group of winter tourists and converted the summer tourist industry into a year-round business. The tourist economy of Lauterbrunnen was devastated due to World War I and II and the Great Depression. However, following the end of World War II, tourism rebounded. Many new vacation homes and chalets were built along with ski lifts, chair lifts and a heliport. On the 1st of January 1973, the former municipality of Isenfluh merged into the municipality of Lauterbrunnen. On the 31st of December 2009, Amtsbezirk Interlaken, the municipality's former district, was dissolved. On the following day, the 1st of January 2010, it joined the newly created Verwaltungskreis Interlaken-Oberhasli. Geography. Lauterbrunnen lies at the bottom of a U-shaped valley that extends south and then southwestwards from the village to meet the 8 kilometers Lauterbrunnen Wall. The Lauterbrunnen Valley is one of the deepest in the Alpine chain when compared with the height of the mountains that rise directly on either side. It is a true cleft, rarely more than 1 kilometer in width, between limestone's precipices, sometimes quite perpendicular, everywhere of extreme steepness. It is to this form of the valley that it owes the numerous waterfalls from which it derives its name. The streams descending from the adjoining mountains, on reaching the verge of the rocky walls of the valley, form cascades so high that they are almost lost in spray before they reach the level of the valley. The most famous of these are the Stechelberg Falls within less than 1 kilometer of the village of Lauterbrunnen. The height of the cascade is between 800 and 900 feet, one of the highest in Europe, formed of a single unbroken fall. The river Weißlachina flows through Lauterbrunnen and overflows its banks about once a year. The source of the river comes from melting snow high in the mountains, thus making it a very pure and clean source of water. It is common practice in the campsites to chill drinks in the water. Trummelbach Falls is 3 kilometers from Lauterbrunnen, connected by bus from the station. The municipality of Lauterbrunnen extends a considerable distance beyond the village and valley, with an area of 164.56 square kilometers. It reaches as far as the peaks of the Eiger, Monk and Jungfrau to the east, the Gletscherhorn, Mittaghorn, Grosshorn, Breithorn and Tschingelhorn to the south, and the Spaltenhorn and Schilthorn to the west. The Kleiner Scheidegg Pass crosses over to Grindelwald to the east, whilst the Sefinental Pass crosses to Gries Alpenreichenbach im Kandel to the west. Both passes carry hiking trails that form part of the Alpine Pass route, a long-distance hiking trail across Switzerland between Sargans and Montreux. Besides the village of Lauterbrunnen, the municipality also includes the villages of Wengen, Mürren, Gimmelwald, Stechelberg, and Isenfluh. Of the municipal area, 36.79 square kilometers, 22.4% is used for agricultural purposes, while 28.84 square kilometers, 17.5% is forested. Of the rest of the land, 2. 1.31 square kilometers or 1.4% is settled, 1.08 square kilometers or 0.7% is either rivers or lakes, and 95.39 square kilometers or 58.0% is unproductive land. Of the built-up area, housing and buildings made up 0.7% and transportation infrastructure made up 0.5%. Out of the forested land, 13.6% of the total land area is heavily forested and 2.0% is covered with orchards or small clusters of trees. Of the agricultural land, 3.5% is pastures and 18.9% is used for alpine pastures. All the water in the municipality is flowing water. Of the unproductive areas, 10.3% is unproductive vegetation, 31.3% is too rocky for vegetation, and 16.3% of the land is covered by glaciers. Coat of arms. The blazon of the municipal coat of arms is Professor Argent, a semi-ibex, rampant coupe, sable and vert, 3 piles wavy issuant from base of the first. The 3 stripes represent 3 famous waterfalls around the village. Demographics. The village Lauterbrunnen has a population of 2,451. As of 2010, 22.6% of the population are resident foreign nationals. Over the last 10 years the population has changed at a rate of -8.9%. Migration accounted for -6.5%, while births and deaths accounted for -3.1%. Most of the population speaks German as the first language. Portuguese is the second most common and Croatian is the third. There are 42 people who speak French, 40 people who speak Italian and 5 people who speak Romansh. As of 2008, the population was 49.7% male and 50.3% female. The population was made up of 970 Swiss men and 301 non-Swiss men. There were 1,011 Swiss women and 276 non-Swiss women. Of the population in the municipality, 1,221 or about 41.9% were born in Lauterbrunnen and lived there in 2000. There were 592 or 20.3% who were born in the same canton, while 386 or 13.2% were born somewhere else in Switzerland, and 544 or 18.7% were born outside of Switzerland. As of 2010, children and teenagers make up 17.2% of the population, while adults make up 62.5% and seniors make up 20.2%. As of 2000, there were 1,195 people who were single and never married in the municipality. There were 1,420 married individuals, 208 widows or widowers and 91 individuals who are divorced. As of 2000, there were 453 households that consist of only one person and 61 households with 5 or more people. In 2000, a total of 1,090 apartments were permanently occupied, while 1,414 apartments were seasonally occupied and 196 apartments were empty. As of 2010, the construction rate of new housing units was 4.3 new units per 1,000 residents. The vacancy rate for the municipality in 2011 was 0.66%. The historical population is given in the following chart. Heritage sites of national significance. The cable car between Stechelberg and Schilthorn and the Tschingelfirn and silver mine, which was active in the medieval to early modern periods, are listed as Swiss Heritage Site of national significance. The hamlet of Gimmelwald and the kleine Schilthorn region are both part of the inventory of Swiss heritage sites. Politics. In the 2011 federal election, the most popular party was the Swiss People's Party, which received 29.6% of the vote. The next three most popular parties were the Conservative Democratic Party, the Social Democratic Party, and the FDP. The Liberals. In the federal election, a total of 733 votes were cast, and the voter turnout was 43.0%. Economy. As of 2011, Lauterbrunnen had an unemployment rate of 1.9%. As of 2008, there were a total of 1,908 people employed in the municipality. Of these, there were 147 people employed in the primary economic sector and about 55 businesses involved in this sector. 223 people were employed in the secondary sector and there were 35 businesses in this sector. 1,538 people were employed in the tertiary sector, with 195 businesses in this sector. There were 1,623 residents of the municipality who were employed in some capacity, of which females made up 43.1% of the workforce. In 2008, there were a total of 1,605 full-time equivalent jobs. The number of jobs in the primary sector was 77, of which 70 were in agriculture and 7 were in forestry lumber production. The number of jobs in the secondary sector was 207, of which 20 were in manufacturing and 124 were in construction. The number of jobs in the tertiary sector was 1,321. In the tertiary sector, 132 at 10.0% were in wholesale or retail sales at the repair of motor vehicles. 231 or 17.5% were in the movement and storage of goods. 687 or 52.0% were in a hotel or restaurant. 75 or 5.7% were in education and 56 or 4.2% were in health care. In 2000, there were 360 workers who commuted into the municipality and 252 workers who commuted away. The municipality is a net importer of workers, with about 1.4 workers entering the municipality for every one leaving. Of the working population, 12.5% used public transportation to get to work, and 12.3% used a private car. Religion. From the 2000 census, 513 or 17.6% were Roman Catholic, while 1,973 or 67.7% belonged to the Swiss Reformed Church. Of the rest of the population, there were 34 members of an Orthodox church, and there were 47 individuals who belonged to another Christian church. There was one individual who was Jewish, and 28 who were Islamic. There were 3 individuals who were Buddhist and 2 individuals who belonged to another church. 144 belonged to no church, are agnostic or atheist, and 187 individuals did not answer the question. Climate. Between 1981 and 2010, Lauterbrunnen had an average of 136.5 days of rain or snow per year and on average received 1,207 millimeters of precipitation. The wettest month was July, during which time Lauterbrunnen received an average of 144 millimeters of rain or snow. During this month there was precipitation for an average of 13.8 days. The month with the most days of precipitation was June, with an average of 14.1, but with only 133 millimeters of rain or snow. The driest month of the year was October, with an average of 78 mm of precipitation over 9.5 days. Transport. Lauterbrunnen railway station, in the center of Lauterbrunnen village, is served by trains of the Berner Oberlandbahn, which run to Interlaken, and by trains of the Wengen, which run to Wengen. Kleiner Scheidegg and Grindelwald. At Kleiner Scheidegg, connection can be made with the Jungfraubahn, which ascends inside the Eiger to the Jungfraujoch. The lower terminal of the Bergbahn Lauterbrunnen Mürren, a cable car and connecting train, is adjacent to the main station and provides service to Mürren. Besides Lauterbrunnen station, there are 10 other railway stations within the municipality of Lauterbrunnen. These are Sandweid on the Bobwenwald, Wengen, Almond, Wengenop and Kleiner Scheidegg on the WAB, Eiger Glacier on the JB, and Grachal, Winteregg and Mürren on the LSMS. Post-bus services linked Lauterbrunnen village to Stechelberg and the Trummelbach Falls, and to Isenfluh. An alternative route to Mürren is available using the bus to Stechelberg and then the Luftseilbahn Stechelberg-Mürren Schilthorn. Education. In Lauterbrunnen, about 1,155 of the population have completed non-mandatory upper secondary education, and 230 have completed additional higher education. Of the 230 who completed tertiary schooling, 60.0% were Swiss men, 20.9% were Swiss women, 10.0% were non-Swiss men and 9.1% were non-Swiss women. The canton of Bern school system provides 1 year of non-obligatory kindergarten, followed by 6 years of primary school. This is followed by 3 years of obligatory lower secondary school where the students are separated according to ability and aptitude. Following the lower secondary, students may attend additional schooling or they may enter an apprenticeship. During the 2010-11 school year, there were a total of 247 students attending classes in Lauterbrunnen. There were 3 kindergarten classes with a total of 36 students in the municipality. Of the kindergarten students, 16.7% were permanent or temporary residents of Switzerland and 16.7% have a different mother language than the classroom language. The municipality had 8 primary classes and 125 students. Of the primary students, 19.2% were permanent or temporary residents of Switzerland and 20.8% have a different mother language than the classroom language. During the same year, there were 3 lower secondary classes with a total of 65 students. There were 10.8% who were permanent or temporary residents of Switzerland and 10.8% have a different mother language than the classroom language. The remainder of the students attend a private or special school. As of 2000, there were 5 students in Lauterbrunnen who came from another municipality, while 45 residents attended schools outside the municipality. Crime. In 2014, the crime rate of crimes listed in the Swiss Criminal Code in Lauterbrunnen was 49.2 per thousand residents. During the same period, the rate of drug crimes was 0 per thousand residents. The rate of violations of immigration, visa and work permit laws was 6.6 per thousand residents. This rate is 3 times the rate in the district, as well as twice the rate in the canton.